What happens when a 6.3 muscle machine steps into the ring with the most feared destroyer in boxing history? What happens when a British bodybuilder with 247 pounds of pure muscle tells Mike Tyson, "I'm not afraid of you"? The answer? Carnage. This is the story of Bruno the Bodybuilder. Bruno, the only man who stunned Mike Tyson so badly that Iron Mike saw white lights. And Tyson admitted it himself. You won't believe what happened next. What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm bringing you one of the most shocking confrontations in boxing history. This isn't just another Mike Tyson knockout story. This is about pride, power, and a British warrior who refused to be intimidated. Bruno wasn't just a boxer. He was a physical specimen. A chiseled bodybuilder with muscles on top of muscles. Standing at 6'3" and weighing up to 247 pounds of solid steel, he had a sledgehammer right hand and a dream: to become Britain's first heavyweight champion in nearly a century. But standing in his way? The most terrifying force boxing had ever seen. Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, the man who made grown fighters quit before the bell rang, the destroyer who knocked opponents out in seconds. These two giants clashed not once, but twice. And what happened in those fights changed both of their lives forever. Buckle up, because this story is about to get crazy. The build-up to war, let's rewind to the late 1980s. Mike Tyson was at the peak of his powers. He was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, holding all the belts: WBA, WBC, IBF. He had just demolished Michael Spinks in 91 seconds. The entire boxing world was terrified of him. But across the Atlantic Ocean, in Britain, there was a man who didn't share that fear. His name was Bruno, and he was different. Bruno wasn't your typical boxer. He was a bodybuilder first. His physique looked like it was carved from granite. Arms like tree trunks, shoulders like boulders, and a chest that could stop a truck. British fans called him their Great British Hope, and he believed he could beat Tyson. When Bruno and Tyson first came face to face, something electric happened. Bruno looked Tyson dead in the eyes and showed zero fear. No backing down, no intimidation tactics working. Bruno said, "I've sparred with you since you were 15, Mike. I've seen you grow up. I'm not scared of you." And you know what? That statement shocked Tyson. Because nobody talked to Iron Mike like that. Everyone else trembled. Everyone else looked away. But Bruno? Bruno stared him down like he was ready to rip his head off. The trash talk was intense. Tyson said, "Bruno's just another body I'm going to put on the canvas." Bruno fired back, "Mike's a bully, and I'm going to show the world what happens when you stand up to a bully." The fight was originally scheduled for September 1988 in London's Wembley Stadium, Bruno's home turf. But then drama struck. Tyson got into a street fight with Mitch Green and broke his hand. Then he crashed his BMW into a tree. Then he was going through a nasty divorce with Robin Givens. The fight kept getting postponed again and again. But finally, on February 25th, 1989, in Las Vegas, it was time. The bodybuilder versus the destroyer. Britain versus America. Muscle versus madness. Fight 1, February 25th, 1989, the shock of the century. The atmosphere at the Las Vegas Hilton was explosive. British fans had flown thousands of miles to support their hero. Union Jack flags were everywhere. The crowd was going absolutely insane. Round 1, ding, ding, ding. Tyson came out like a wrecking ball. Head movement, bobbing, weaving, looking for that perfect angle to land his death punch. But Bruno came out swinging. He was throwing that powerful jab, using his size advantage, and for the first time in Tyson's career, someone was matching his aggression. Then it happened. Boom! Tyson landed a right hook that sent Bruno crashing to the canvas. The crowd gasped. It looked like it was over already. But wait, Bruno got up at the count of 2. He took the mandatory 8 count and said, "I'm not done." The round continued with both men trading bombs. Tyson was throwing his signature combinations, but Bruno was holding his ground. Then, with just 50 seconds left in round 1, crack, crack! Bruno landed a left hook right hand combination that caught Tyson flush on the side of his head. And for the first time ever in Mike Tyson's professional career, his knees buckled. He staggered backward. His eyes went wide. The British fans erupted like a volcano. Years later, Tyson admitted in a documentary, "I saw white lights after that punch. Bruno nearly knocked me out. That was one of the hardest punches I ever took." Bruno had just done the impossible. He had hurt Iron Mike Tyson. The entire boxing world was in shock. But here's where it gets tragic. Bruno couldn't follow up. The round ended before he could capitalize. If there had been 30 more seconds, we might have seen one of the greatest upsets in boxing history. Round 2, Tyson came back with vengeance. He was mad. He started targeting Bruno's body. Thud, 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 devastating shots to the ribs. Bruno tried to clinch, to slow Tyson down, to survive, but Iron Mike was relentless. Rounds 3 and 4 were brutal. Bruno was trying to use his size, grabbing Tyson in clinches, wrestling with him, doing anything to stop the onslaught. The referee kept warning Bruno for holding, but what choice did he have? Tyson was throwing bombs. Then came round 5, the end. Tyson landed short, vicious uppercuts inside. Bruno's nose started bleeding. Tyson sensed it, like a shark smelling blood. He unleashed a barrage of punches. 2 right uppercuts and a left hook that sent Bruno crashing into the ropes. Referee Richard Steele jumped in and stopped the fight. TKO for Mike Tyson. But this wasn't a typical Tyson demolition. Bruno had lasted 5 rounds. He had hurt Tyson. He had given the champion his toughest fight. After the fight, Tyson showed rare respect. He said, "Bruno hit me harder than anyone I've fought. He gave hope to every heavyweight out there that I'm not invincible." The 7-year gap after that brutal first fight, both men's lives took dramatic turns. Tyson's world collapsed. In 1990, he lost his titles to Buster Douglas in the biggest upset in boxing history. Then, in 1991, he was convicted of rape and sent to prison. His career, his reputation, everything was destroyed. Bruno? He kept fighting. He never gave up on his dream. He challenged Lennox Lewis for the WBC title in 1993 and lost. But in 1995, at 33 years old, after 13 years of trying, Frank Bruno finally did it. He beat Oliver McCall and became the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Britain had its champion. But there was a problem. Due to contractual obligations, Bruno's first title defense had to be against Mike Tyson. Tyson had just been released from prison and was on a comeback mission. The rematch was set. March 16, 1996, champion versus champion, redemption versus revenge. The bodybuilder had finally achieved his dream, and now he had to defend it against the man who had haunted him for 7 years. Fight 2. March 16, 1996. The final confrontation, the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, was packed. Over 5,000 British fans had made the journey, singing songs, waving flags, believing their champion could do it. This time, Bruno weighed a massive 247 pounds, the heaviest he'd ever been. pure muscle. Tyson was 220 pounds of refined destruction, but something was different. During Bruno's ring walk, he crossed himself 12 times. His face showed fear. The confidence from 7 years of preparation was crumbling. From the opening bell, it was clear this would be brutal. Round 1. Tyson came out as a straight-ahead bomber. No fancy head movement, just raw aggression. He threw continuous right overhands that crashed into Bruno's guard. Bruno tried to clinch, to hold, to survive. In the final 30 seconds, they went toe-to-toe. Tyson landed a power right hand that staggered Bruno. Bruno's left eye was cut. Blood started pouring. Round 2. Tyson kept attacking. Bruno was holding constantly. So much that the referee deducted a point from him. Bruno was desperate. He couldn't match Tyson's speed, couldn't handle his power, couldn't stop the storm. Round 3, the end. Less than a minute into the round, Tyson dodged a Bruno jab and unleashed hell. A 13-punch combination, body shots, head shots, uppercuts, that literally lifted Bruno's 247-pound body off his feet. Bruno crashed into the ropes, defenseless, broken. Referee Mills Lane jumped in and stopped the fight. It was over. Tyson fell to his knees in the ring and started praying. He shouted to his handlers, "Tell the press, I said I hit like a mule." Bruno was devastated. He said after the fight, "You'll find that I was a little broken-hearted when it was over." What nobody knew at the time, this would be Frank Bruno's final fight. Doctors warned him that if he continued boxing, he risked losing vision in one eye. His dream career ended that night. The shocking aftermath. The story doesn't end in the ring. Both Bruno and Tyson's lives took tragic turns. Bruno retired but struggled with his mental health. His marriage collapsed. He spent time in mental health facilities. The warrior who showed no fear in the ring was battling demons outside of it. Tyson? He went on to become champion again, but his life was also falling apart. Controversies, more prison time, the infamous ear-biting incident. His legacy was being destroyed. But here's what's beautiful. Years later, Bruno and Tyson reunited for a documentary. They sat down, talked, and showed genuine respect and love for each other. Tyson said, "Bruno, I've been to 10 mental health facilities. This is what we have to go through." They bonded over their struggles, their pain, and their shared experiences. The rivalry had turned into a friendship. The bodybuilder and the destroyer had become brothers. So there you have it, fight fans. The incredible, brutal, and shocking story of Bruno the Bodybuilder versus Mike Tyson. A man who built his body like a machine but fought with the heart of a lion. A man who stunned Iron Mike so badly that Tyson saw white lights. A man who achieved his dream against all odds. Frank Bruno didn't just fight Mike Tyson. He confronted him, challenged him, and hurt him in ways nobody else had. That's the mark of a true warrior. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss these incredible boxing stories. Share this video with every fight fan you know, because Bruno's story deserves to be told. Drop a comment. Do you think Bruno could have won if the referee hadn't stopped the first fight in round 5? Let's debate. Until next time, remember, it's not about the size of your muscles, it's about the size of your heart. Peace out, warriors.